From the City of Angels, arising from the depths of the West Coast to disseminate intellectual anarchy, you are listening to the James Salazar Media Podcast, where you get your weekly dose of pop culture, politics, and futurism. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the Joker movie and the Democratic Party debates and which one was more depressing. So let me strike the music and I'll meet you on the other side.
Engage.
Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do.
It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
Say hello to my little friend.
No, I am the father.
I'd like to take this chance to apologize to absolutely nobody.
What's up, savages? And what's up, my fellow Americans? Welcome to the James Salazar Media Podcast. I am your host, James Salazar, a.k.a. The Media. I have a report, beep, 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 Dateline. The Great Way Off happened. Those who listen to the James Salazar Media Podcast faithfully would know that I was in a contest to lose weight. And the weigh-in was about a week and a half ago. And I won. Dun, da, da, dun. Dun, da, da, dun. I lost 19 pounds in 7 months. Yes. Pathetic. And it was going back and forth a lot until the last 3 weeks, where I decided to focus because I didn't want to do that terrible punishment, which you're supposed to get your nether regions waxed. So I was motivated. The individual, Big Lou, who decided to challenge me, he came in at 17 pounds. Loser. I have no sympathy for him because he didn't have to jump on my bandwagon and challenge me to a contest. See, what happened was I went to the live podcast and I wanted to go before the audience and tell them I want to make myself accountable to the audience to lose, because I want to be down to 220 by my birthday. Then it becomes some kind of way off because Lou, and for fun, I went with it, and it was the worst idea because all the people who I was going to look for support for, guess what? Half of them came against me because they were rooting for the other guy. So, yeah, it didn't produce the results I wanted. And things happened along the way that made it harder. But at the end of the day, when it came down to the last 3 weeks, which I am proud of myself on those last 3 weeks, that everything I planned to do, my meal plan, to fasting, to working out, I did everything I needed to do in 3 weeks to lose 19 pounds. So it taught me two stories. That all the reasons why I thought I couldn't do it were all excuses. And the other story is that I have the tools to know how to do it. And the ball's in my court. And and it's as easy as you can make that gain, you can gain it all back. And I practically did. Because Another problem with this stupid contest was that once I got to that finish line, it was a finish line that was for the competition, but not for my health, not for what I need to do physically and mentally. It made me feel like I accomplished something, but I didn't accomplish anything for my original goal. That was to get to the weight I needed to be at a healthy weight so I can be there for my daughter on her wedding day, to be there for my wife and support her all the way up to as much as I can, to be there for my friends whenever they need me. So once I hit that finish line, I was like, yeah, I just did this like little lean back, kick back, like I accomplished something. But no, I didn't accomplish anything. I got to lose the weight I came back. I need to throw it all out the window because I need to get back to where I need to be at a healthy weight at 220. At the minimum, I need to be at 220, which is which I can live with. I mean, doctors want me out 180. I don't see that. But, we can compromise at 120. When right now I'm at, 220. 220. I don't know why 120. 220. When right now I'm at 265. So I need to get back on the trail. I need to do some hard work. And I recommitted to myself at the end of the year to try to lose the pounds I lost and plus an extra 20 pounds, which is going to take hard work. So I'm making a commitment to you, the James Salazar Media Podcast, and I already made a commitment to the live podcast again to try to get down to that weight. And I'm not going to put myself in a contest. Okay? All right? Make sense? I saw the Joker movie. And spoilers in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, never mind. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, if you do or do not know, Marvel Comics set their heroes in real cities. Spider-Man's from New York, and I don't know, pretty much the rest. I don't know. I think Iron Man's in LA or Malibu. But DC, they make up fictional cities, which are a type of a real city. So Gotham is really New York. Metropolis is like Los Angeles, or maybe like Boston or something like that. And this seems to be set in the 70s or early, late 60s, early 70s. The way their technology was, as well as the age of spoiler in 1, 2, 3, Batman is. And the major subject of this is mental illness. There's no fantastical reasons why the Joker comes about other than mental illness. He doesn't get dropped in a vat of acid. Everything is mental and environmental that makes him who he is. So let me speak about the performance. Joaquin Phoenix gives one of the best performances, whether this was a comic book character or not, that I've seen in a long time. Since Daniel Day-Lewis doing There Will Be Blood. I mean, really great acting. Not only see the transformation he makes to become that character, the amazing transformation that the character goes through to become the Joker was riveting. And there's twists and turns, what I will not spoil. And iconic images. I mean, the Joker dancing on those stairs. Traditionally known those stairs as the one the Exorcist girl throws Father Merrin down. Or not Father Merrin, the other father. And the Joker walking down the streets of New York, which is Gotham, smoking a cigarette, just fully embracing the persona of the Joker. Are going to be iconic images in cinema from here until movies don't exist anymore. And it talks about the mental health problems in our society today. You know what? As a conservative, we like to toot our horn and tip our hat to the idea that we care about what works. We don't care about what makes us feel good. We want to make sure that things are doing good. And it was a clear-cut mistake by Ronald Reagan, which was one of my favorite presidents. He made one of the biggest mistakes by cutting the services for the mentally insane. Our society has paid for that mistake since he's done it. And for some reason, our society, and he doesn't get the blame for why we still have it. He gets the blame for why it happened, but he doesn't get the blame for why it still happens, because this should be a bipartisan issue, because nobody wants the homeless in front of their homes, and they don't want the homeless in front of their businesses. We could all come together and vote on a measure that brings back the asylums that can help house people who are a danger to themselves and everyone else, and find out what the tax cost is going to be, and let the people vote for it. And I'm pretty sure people would vote for it. You know? Because sometimes, and I do believe in charity should be the main way you help people get out of those situations. But when their mind is not working well, there's nothing you can do. These people need to be put in a place that churches or families or hospitals are not equipped to handle. And in the movie, they really get into this subject. And it exposes and it really shows in the light that these people are also victims too. And sometimes people who are a victim of their own psyche and the lack of services because they cannot adjust themselves enough to become productive citizens, they start to hurt other people as well as themselves. So it's an amazing story. It's an amazing There is amazing acting, very violent movie, even though it has just like 4 violent moments in the 2-hour movie. They're pretty violent. Well, when it does happen. So, it's going to be amazing that if Joaquin Phoenix gets an Academy Award for a comic book character that another actor portrayed and got Academy Award from. It'll be the first time. It'll be the first of many things. First time a comic book character, villain, gets nominated or win the Academy Award. That's never even happened in any other type of role. I don't know of any other role played by 2 different actors that role is so iconic. That character is so iconic that it gets nominated. I mean, the character of Joker has been, portrayed in the movies like 4 times. When the old 1950s TV show went to like a movie, pretty silly. Then you have the one that Jack Nicholson played. Then the one who got the Academy Award, Christopher Nolan's, Heath Ledger playing the Joker. And then you have Joaquin Phoenix's. And I'm not sure if did Jack Nicholson get nominated for the Joker? I'm not sure. I know he didn't win it. I got to go back and check that out because that would be amazing. 3 times in a row, every time that buddy plays. Shit, who would want to play the Joker? Who wouldn't want to play the Joker if it does it? But you got to be a phenomenal actor, and Jack and all of them are pretty riveting. Even Jack Nicholson's, it seems very, very, very iconic. And very comic booky. We see that the one with Heath Ledger, a criminal mastermind who wants to see the world burn. And then we see the Joaquin Phoenix, the mentally insane person that's being forgotten by society. And it just shows the brilliance of the character that the comic book writer created this character, the Joker. And how many people can change it? There's been a lot of comic book characters that have been tried, and I don't know who's been nominated. I don't know if Christopher Reeves was nominated for a Superman, or I don't know if any of that. But if the Joker, the character Joker, gets an Academy Award for the 2nd time, this will be the most iconic villain in cinema, movie, and literature history. Coming up, arguably, 2nd place should be like the Devil and Darth Vader of iconic villains written in history, on the silver screen, and in television. So it's going to be exciting what happens. A lot of people are going to watch the Academy Awards to see if Joaquin Phoenix should get the nod. There's also people who think that Iron Man should get the nod for a Academy Award for what do you call it? Avengers Endgame, and that'll be crazy. You'll have DC versus Marvel fighting for an Academy Award. It's interesting because it's been said And a lot of people agree that except for Wonder Woman, and there's still some issues with Wonder Woman, that the DC movies are not anywhere as good as a Marvel movie. But we bring in this one DC movie called The Joker, that in what's that word I'm looking for? I want to use the right word. Intipify? Is there a word? Intipify? Shows, just one-ups them when it comes to story and cinema as an art form. It blazes ahead. And this is the issue that we're seeing Martin Scorsese and Francis Ford Coppola talking about how the Marvel movies aren't really cinema. They ain't art. There's something other than that. And to have a DC come and do the Joker the way they did, or allowed writers and directors to do it, because it has that old feel of directing of movies. It felt like I was watching a 70s movie written in the 70s, filmed in the 70s. And it's got some modern touches, but it definitely gets that feel of this is a deep story. And it had to be, and it took a lot, and it stayed true to almost the, what it needed to happen. It needed to create the Batman, and it ties that story together. So I'm excited to see what happens. Right now, who is that guy? I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, Jared Leto, 30 Seconds to Mars. Good actor. Getting his panties all in a bunch because he felt he's just being ignored about his Joker. And there, right, so the Joker's been played like 5 times. The Joker, his rendition of the Joker as some crazy gangster, like Cholo or modern hip-hop gangster. I do like how Harley Quinn storyline in the Suicide Squad came out. I thought that was clever. But I'm sorry, it's just not as good as Joaquin Phoenix's or the Christopher Nolan Joker. And he's a great actor. It has nothing to do with that. Just sometimes you just miss the mark. Or somebody comes and does it better. That happens in life. I'm sorry that happened to him, but what is unbecoming and tacky is that he's being upset and he thinks he feels entitled to some kind of notoriety or some tip of the hat. I don't know. But it doesn't make him look good. And into his credit and to his side, this could be one private rant that he had that someone has now put it out into the open, and people are assuming he's acting like a biatch. And but if he's like vocal about it and says I did it better and people need to recognize what I did, and that's pretty pathetic. Don't be doing that. So that's all I think I have to say about the Joker. Definitely see it. If you disagree, put it in an email. I want to hear what I am not seeing that you may have saw. So, yeah, I'm burping a lot. That's all I got to say about that. So the streaming wars are about to begin. Starting in November, Disney will be coming out with their streaming service, Disney Plus, with also with Hulu attached to it, and ESPN Plus, so which is good for people who like MMA to be able to watch that for free. Well, not really free, but that whole pack is going to be $12, $12.99, probably $13, which sounds like a good deal, as long as that content keeps on coming strong. They will be able to compete, and they're going to be competing with Amazon Prime, which is a very much established system, and we got Apple coming out with theirs, which I don't know how they're going to do. But if you buy something free, something up to like $1,000, which I did with my new iPhone 11, I get to get that service for free for 1 year, which is good. And we'll see how it is rated. It got Jason Momoa in their flagship movie or series that they will be opening up with, but they're gonna have to come with the content. I mean, that's all I see so far, and they're gonna have to recognize their market. People are going to want to see some crazy shit first. You know? People want... And I'm more worried about Apple than anybody. Who I'm not worried about, and people think you should be worried about, is Netflix. But Netflix has about... like... so many titles. It'll have like 7 times more titles than the Disney will, even though Disney has so much content. And Disney should be putting all their more adult content, rated R content on Hulu, and plus making those things happen. So the streaming wars are about to start. I think Amazon Prime and Netflix are going to stay strong. They might have to compete with lower prices or better content. I think the real war is going to be between Disney and Apple. I worry about Apple that they're not going to be able to produce enough content, because I don't think Netflix is going to give them anything. I don't think Prime is going to give them anything. We know that Disney and all his subsidiaries are not going to give anything to Prime. So Apple's going to have to come out with a lot of content. But guess what? They have deep pockets. Deep pockets. And I hope they don't do some shitty thing like make it impossible for us to get Netflix and all the competing services. But time will tell. But in this next year, it's going to be pretty amazing with these streaming wars. And should expect great content. It's one of the best times probably to become an actor, because back then you got like 3 studios, 3 different television companies, and you're lucky if you even worked. But I don't know, you got about 30 studios, each studio coming out with at least 10 hit shows. I mean, there's so much an actor can get into, and it's going to take hard work. You know, if you want to become an actor, work on your acting skills, work on your comedic skills, work on whatever you need to do to work on, and just start auditioning, and you will get this, and people will use you. You don't have to be no Brad Pitt. You don't want that. Everybody wants that, but you don't need to have that to be a success in Hollywood. I mean, the guy who has that 21-minute part every show where they talk to him, like the Soup Nazi and all these different, you can make a living doing these small parts. Or less, or being a someone who's casted regularly on some show that does just okay, but okay enough to keep it running. So that's time to become an actor, for sure. So these streaming wars are exciting. That's more content to watch, and cable's going to die. Cable's out. It's pretty much going to be out of the way. I mean, there's like 3 shows I watch on cable, and the price is ridiculous. Once they can get that app that gives everybody local channels, and we don't have to go through the satellite, through the antenna or through the satellite, but we can get it through the internet, guess what? Cable's done. Put a fork in it. Go by the wayside like Blockbuster TV or Blockbuster Video. That's all I got to say about that. Last but not least, the Democratic Party debates happened about a week and a half ago. And it's very interesting to me. It really exposed a couple people, and well, let's just get into it. Bernie Sanders was staring out into the sky, probably thinking to himself, don't have a heart attack. Don't have a heart attack. Yes. Free healthcare. Capitalism sucks. Don't have a heart attack. I mean, he looking worse for wear. Biden, his mind is not firing fast enough for this question, that he looks like he's on his way out. He can't disguise his age. There's some people who are able to be riveting and articulate and brilliant at the same age that he is, and I'm pretty sure he's a brilliant man. I'm not saying he's not. I don't agree with his politics, but his brain is not firing to his mouth quick enough. There's a lag there, and we're seeing it, and it's reading as old age and incompetence. I think he's out. Just a couple more debates, which was really astonishing, is that everybody, sorry about that, hit something. Everybody's turning on Pocahontas, Elizabeth Warren. Because Elizabeth Warren was taking all the best stuff that everybody else was saying and saying it like platitudes, like a little bit what Bernie's saying, a little bit what Booker's saying, and Kamala Harris is saying, and just giving some vague ideas. But everybody started to pin her down on it because these ideas cost money. And she has these free healthcare, free college, free everything. But she doesn't want to admit that you're not only going to have to take the rich people's money, you're going to have to take the middle class's money. And they're just saying, no. She's saying they can't pin her down on it, and they're blowing her apart on her inability to take a stand on whether she's going to have to tax the middle class or not. Bernie says, yeah, we're going to tax the middle class, but it's going to be offset on the money they save from health care. He's admitting it. But Elizabeth Warren, let me tell you something. They like to hide it. They like to blow it over. But her being less than 1% Indian and getting free schooling for that, Donald Trump is going to rip her to shreds on that when it comes to the nation. Because nobody's watching right now. Nobody really gives a fuck right now. When it gets down to the nitty gritty, and there's two candidates, the president and somebody else, that's when people will start watching the debates. And that's when Donald Trump shines. That's where he becomes Teflon Don. They're going to be saying a bunch of, and he has a whole list of examples of the Democrats trying to pin something on them and not being able to do it. And he's gonna just show it in a way where they're just wasting the American people's money and their time on things that the American people don't care about and that didn't produce any results. You see, in the beginning, if they could lock something down that the president did, guess what? They would be in a much better position than they are today. But guess what? They're not. They didn't do that. They didn't do that at all. They came up with goose eggs, and they're still coming up with goose eggs. This is why, what's his name? Shoot. Andrew Yang saying that this is a losing proposition. When we are talking about Donald Trump, we are losing the argument. We gotta have good ideas. And Andrew Yang, I don't believe in all his ideas, and some seem pretty much out there, and there's some that I guess. But at the very end, he's about solutions, not about trying to take a duly elected president and trying to get him out of there before the election happens. You will divide the country in a way that will be violent. And unfortunately, one half of the country doesn't believe in possessing guns, pissing off the people who do. That doesn't sound smart to me. That sounds pretty stupid. So win in the arena of ideas. Convince people with voting and get the president out of there if you have a better way. But if you don't have the better way, then you're going to lose the election. And trying to get the guy out before the election happens will divide our country in a way that I don't know if we can ever come back from. When people feel that there's no representation, because those people are being taxed, right? All the people who are voting, they're being taxed. And when you're saying their vote don't count, that's taxation without representation. They're no longer being represented by what they've been voting for. Danger, 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 Will Robinson. Danger, danger, danger. And Beto O'Rourke, he just wants to take everybody's guns. And he's saying, I depend on the American people to obey the laws once we set them up. When he's not getting the clue that it's against the law to make a law not to have guns, to confiscate guns. We can't expect him to obey that law. How does he expect us to obey his new law? He's not a bright guy. You have to say it in a way. You say the Second Amendment is flawed and we need to change the Second Amendment. That's what you say. You don't say, I'll just make a law and everybody will obey it because people obey laws. That's not true. Because if people obey laws, you wouldn't want to be changing the Second Amendment. You want to change that law. You don't want to obey that law. You think that law is flawed. So the dishonesty is silly. They're still trying to impeach Donald Trump. And their best bet right now is just to show all the pictures of all the people dying because we pulled out of Turkey. And the Kurds getting blown up. I think that's what the war is. That's a big mistake. Other than that, they need to come strong. They need to come strong with something because it ain't working. And I think the reason why they want to impeach, because when they look at the true pollings, the pollings that they don't get from other people, when they're feeling where they're at, guess what? I think they're lacking. And they know they can't win against this president. If I was somebody that was sort of close, I would drop out and wait for the next election. That's what I would do. I wouldn't run against Donald Trump in this good economy because I don't think the economy is going to change. I really don't. And as long as that economy is good, people will vote their pocketbook. People don't want to change. People don't want to socially engineer society and have the people who are doing well front the bill. People are going to vote against that. So I'm going to leave it there, my friends. I'm going to leave it there. If you have any questions or any comments about anything I said, put it in an email at jamessalazarmedia@gmail.com. If you're looking for any coaching services, if you need someone to be on your ass and make sure you follow through on your ideas and your dreams, go to jamessalazarmedia.com. Check out my services as a life coach. You can follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, LinkedIn if you're someone who likes to do business, and something else. Twitter. Just type in James Salazar Media and I should come up. So, and if you're in the LA area around November, I'll be singing the Duke in Verdi's Rigoletto. Go to Vineyard Touring Opera website and check out the dates and times for that. So, my friends, when the storms of life come against you and you find yourself on your knees, stand tall. Take a look at that storm and say what my sensei Jack Byrne always says, give me your best shot. Strike the music.